What is happening, Flip Flop fam? I'm super excited to have Angela Goodman here today. But Angela, for people who don't know, who are you and what do you do?
I'm a girl from Virginia. That's who I am. Um, I started out in commercial HVAC as one of the few women in the industry. That's where I went to. Worked up the ranks there and decided I hated corporate America and I got out. Went into a restaurant. I bought into a restaurant franchise and I've owned that for the last 10 years. Something I will likely never do again. And then I'm actually in the process of exiting that business and moving on to more fruitful pursuits of just being a person that helps other business owners figure out their shit.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's, you know, obviously I'm super excited to talk to you. And for like, I want to give people a little more background. I never do this, but so you and I met. We were both asked to come speak in Boston at Chaz Wolf's thing, the
Hmm.
Gathering the Kings
Yeah.
mastermind. And I didn't know you from Adam. I'm sure you didn't know me. And
Hmm.
it was just this immediate, like, I need to know this person better.
Yep.
And we've been chatting on and off. And then you are one of the few who just pulled the trigger on Antarctica
I'm so
with
excited.
me. And I think we have like 30 cabins filled with people we know. So it's
So
like,
awesome.
there's only like 40 some on the boat.
Yeah, I think there's like all of 80 rooms. When I
Yeah.
saw the
Yeah.
size of the ship, I was super stoked because I was like, we're just gonna know everybody. It's just gonna be one big party. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
and it
Yeah.
all came together because of our foundation, Send a Student Leader Abroad. Jillian is our teacher in Katy,
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
So she put it, there's a bunch of the EF people. We're partnered with EF Tours. Ben, Ben will cut that out. He'll see the spike.
Yeah, it's good.
Um,
Cough drop.
s- so we're partnered with EF Tours. So there's a bunch of the EF people going too. So like, and all the scientists on the boat. So anyway, we can talk about the
There's that.
travel.
Wait a minute. There's scientists on the boat,
Yeah, like the excursions we're doing are with scientists that are like
dude.
looking for
That's
the
even.
animals
I
that know
don't
where
even
they
think I
are.
realized that.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Very
yeah.
cool.
It's
Very cool.
gonna be so good. So anyway, stories for another day. We'll do another episode after we go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Um, Funny thing that came to mind when you said like I'm just a girl from Virginia or a girl in Virginia. We were before we hopped online, we were talking about travel. You haven't been to South America yet. We might do
Mm-mm.
that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in Santiago, Chile, and I went down to see Incubus and Dave Matthews Band, and
Oh
they played
man.
at the Olympic Stadium. And here's what's crazy I've found as I go to concerts internationally, like nobody knew who Dave Matthews was, and he was there with Tim
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
And it's like you have these two legends.
Yeah.
There's eight people listening. I'm standing in the front row, and Dave goes, "We're just a country band from Virginia, y'all. I
Yeah, bro.
hope you're ready for Incubus." And then like Incubus comes on, and there's 60,000 people, and they're all there to sing.
I
But he just
love
kept
it.
saying the same thing. We're just a country band from Virginia, y'all.
I love it.
Anyway, so I want to hear, we can talk about the restaurant or not. I think everybody kind of knows that either go to the moon or you go bankrupt.
Bro, I look, I gotta tell you, I had such big hopes for that business. I really did. And I don't think it was like dumb naivety. Like I knew it was gonna be a lot of work. I knew I was gonna kill myself. I knew I was gonna work 24/7. Like I knew all of that going in. And I was already kind of doing that in my role with Carrier. I mean, most of the clients were colleges, universities, hospitals, like places that operate 24/7. So I was managing teams and managing a $25 million business. And I worked all the time. And I knew when I started the restaurant, I was going to work all the time. What I didn't prepare for was COVID because who the hell could prepare for that? And, I love serving people and seeing people happy and I love feeding people. But I learned about myself that I don't like people as much as I thought I did.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
businesses that do that.
Yeah. And that's one of them. And that's probably the only reason why I'd never do it again. Not necessarily because it is so hard to be profitable in the restaurant business, but because literally it really makes you question humanity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The immediately when you say that, I think of our, which is another business I sold, but our short-term rental company. We were the
Mm,
first full-scale management company in Charlotte. So business grew like gangbusters. I'd already been in real estate development and construction. So it's like I literally just started having lunch and learns, and it was just clients, 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 clients.
yeah.
And I don't know if you ever ran an Airbnb, but you imagine running 30 of them, 40 of them. thousands of guests, and the people who will go through a 5 bedroom house and look for a single hair in the corner of a closet and be like, I would like a full $6,000 refund. And you start to profile people as they come in, and the
Uh-huh.
ones you can just already tell how they're going to be, and it really, you start to not like people.
Yeah. Yeah. I can totally see that. And I was in multifamily. I had some multifamily investments, which is also another thing that I wouldn't recommend either. But it's the same thing. Like it just really makes you question the universe as a whole, and
Yeah.
it's sad. Yeah.
And so I'm curious where I want to take this is, we've both had multiple businesses, and what I love most about my business now is I'm very picky about who I work with. And if we're not vibing in the first 5 minutes on a blueprint call, like you're not making it to a strat call. Like we're definitely
Yep.
not going to work together. And those are also the people who are like, feel like you broke up with them and like stalk you. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And it's like, no, bro.
Yep.
So was that part of your transition? Like why? Because I know you're picky about who you work with.
Well, I'll tell you, my discernment has been a learned skill, to be honest with you. So I had a couple of partnerships and one in the multifamily space that I'm still kicking myself about going in, just trusting the wrong people, right? Um, so discernment is one of those things. If you're listening and you struggle with discernment, like work on it because you can learn it, you can figure it out, you can literally make lists of what to do and not do. Because I've messed that up a lot. So I had that bad deal. I had another job that I did for some folks out of Canada that they still owe me a couple $100,000, right? Like good people, they're not bad people, but they didn't have a plan. They didn't have an oh shit or a umbrella moment, right? They didn't have any of that in place, and I trusted them too much. So now I don't work with anybody. Like anybody. I don't care who you are. Like you might be Jeff Bezos, or you might be like a freaking somebody who's got a bazillions of debt. No, I love you, and I will work for you after you pay me, and then
Hmm.
we'll move on. I don't plan to work with anyone ever again. So of course I'm going to say that, and then at some point in time I'm going to find an amazing partner for something. But
Well,
right now, no one. I don't want to work with anyone.
what Steve Ramsey say? The only ship that doesn't float is a partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Um, I was on a coaching call with one of our guys up in the Northeast, and right before I hopped over to you, and we were talking about I have trouble getting guys to do a pre-construction agreement. They're used to handing out
Mm.
estimates like they're candy,
Yep.
and they don't understand the positioning in a buyer's mind of when you are not available and you charge for your time,
Mhm.
why that is why you will get more customers. And it's a really hard disconnect for people to say, even like niching down, same thing.
Yeah.
But when you are very specific about who you work with, like I have a wheelhouse, and if you're not in that, we're not
Mhm.
going to work together. I can probably still help you. Like I've done all the things that you're trying to
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
but it's just not going to be good for either of us. And I'm curious on your end where that plays a role in your business now. How do you know something's not a fit? And then have you found that because of that, you get more clients than you need?
So I actually like to make it very difficult for people to work with me. And I know that's going to sound super counterintuitive, right? But I will test you before you recognize that you're being tested. I have clients who will call me and they'll say, "Hey, I'm struggling with my cash flow situation and I really need your help." I will literally put them through tests they don't know they're going through. Like I will make them do specific tasks and I'm like, "Okay, do I see that they're fully engaged? Do I see that they are actually truthful that they want to make a change?" Because most people who are coming to work with me are struggling with money for some reason or another. And until they're actually ready to make permanent lasting change, I don't want to work with you. Like you might be a great person, but if you haven't hit that rock bottom moment or you haven't recognized that the pain is enough for you to have full lasting change, then you're not ready to work with me, because I'm not easy. Like, I look really cute and sweet, but I'm not going to be easy on you, because I've been there and I've caused my own self the pain, and my job now is to keep other people from being in pain. So if you can't do that for yourself, then you're not going to get time with me in that way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get it. I want to share my iPad because there's when people, if they make it to a strategy, you're going to like this. When people make it to a strategy call with me, they get this little video called Your Four Futures, right? And it's like, if you do nothing, we
Yeah.
change everything in a year, like, I mean, you know what that looks like.
Yep.
Let me see if I can actually get the iPad to pull up. iPad only. Gonna work. Anyway, it's called there it is.
Oh, look at
So it's
that. There we
called
go.
it's reinstalling Notability. Anyway, if you're listening, I'm pulling up this graph, um, which is
There we go.
called, and now I lost it again. But it's basically this point of no return, where if you're not there, which is what you just described and what I show in this video, or in this graph right here. So there's the four futures,
There we go.
and then this. So there's you, and there's this toleration level. And what
Uh-huh.
I hear you describing is this red box where I have wrote no more.
Yep.
And then you go to a new normal, where in your case, your finances are better. That is the new baseline, is like you never go back below that level.
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're describing? Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's no different than somebody who has struggled with their weight their whole life, right? But they choose to eat the wrong things, and they make those choices openly, or they choose not to move their body. You can, once it gets bad enough and your health is bad enough, you'll make the change and you won't go back. If you're not ever to that point, then I can't help you. Like, you're going to try, and I'm going to give you things to do, and I'm going to require you to be completely uh, um, transparent and with me, and be completely honest with me, because honestly, most people like to lie about money one way or another, whether they have less than they tell you or they have more than what they tell you. There are people on both sides of that spectrum, but people like to, they feel some sort of guilt, shame, or entitlement about money, and so they will actually lie about money. It's one of the things that they choose to lie about the most. So unless you can be fully transparent, you're never going to change your financial position ever. um, and that being the case, I can't help you. You've put yourself in a place where I can't help you, and I don't want to take your money if I can't help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the key right there too, right? Like there's so many, certainly in the coaching world in general, but if you have a heartbeat and a credit card, like,
Oh yeah.
yep, come on down. We'll help you, like versus somebody like you or
Mm-hmm.
I. It's also why I'm so
Yes.
expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
Same.
it's I
Same.
want to work with 30 people total a year.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not a 3,000 person thing, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I mean, that's one of the ways that I weed people out too. Like, I have an entry assessment that you have to take, and then you spend 90 minutes with me, and it's pretty high price for you just to do that. I
Yeah.
know if you're going to pay for that, that you're committed to doing something. If you're not ready, willing, or don't have the money to actually pay for that, or won't find a way to save the money to pay for it, then you're not ready for the change anyway. So, yeah, I've
Yeah.
weeded you out pretty early.
The you I'm sure you see this all the time, but it's like I see guys that, we go through a blueprint call, and it's like I'm getting their revenue, I'm getting their team, like I understand what they're building. And so I don't think they're lying about the, top line revenue number.
Mm-hmm.
And some guys will be like, "Oh, we don't have the money right now," and it's just because they're not ready to commit, and it's
Yeah.
BS. But then there's guys that they really don't have any money. Like they're doing $6 million a year. They should be putting at least 600,000 in the bank after they pay themselves, and they
Yeah.
don't have 10 grand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in most cases, it's just a problem with their priorities. That's it. It's literally a prioritization issue. And until they're ready to reprioritize the importance of learning how to use their money, they're not ready for you or I, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think your world's probably similar to mine in that I've got guys that are like, let's say they're at 5 million. That's kind of a national average where these guys cap. Some
Mm-hmm.
guys it's 20 million, but it's different toilet, same shit, you know. But the guy at 5 million that could be doing 10, like he has the pieces, he has the parts, he
Mm-hmm.
could scale to
Mm-hmm.
10 and won't invest, whether it's me or otherwise, someone to teach him what he's
Yep.
missing.
Yep.
He's leaving $5 million a year on
Mm-hmm.
the table while he
Mm-hmm.
cobbles it together on YouTube and Google and might read half of a book. And then,
Yep.
and I have to think that's the same in your industry where people are just literally flushing money down the drain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have in fact I had a potential client call yesterday with a company out of the Carolinas that has 400 employees, and they've got three trade divisions within this one subset of the company: HVAC, plumbing, electrical. None of them speak the same language. They don't do projects that cross pollinate or overlap between the three trades, and they're operating commercially and they're operating residentially, and commercial and residential don't talk to each other either. So nobody's communicating across all of those trades. So they're leaving millions of dollars on the table, millions, because they don't know how to communicate with each other. So they want to bring me in to help them integrate their communications and to really learn how to do that. And I told them straight up, I said, look, if you, as the leadership, aren't willing to go through this individual communication process and strengthen yourself, then I'm not going to work with you, because it comes from you first. And if you aren't willing to carry that down, I said, not only that, I said, but the owner of the company, like, where's he at? Where does he sit on the fence with this? Because the last thing we want is an owner who's going to come in and seagull manage you while you're trying to implement this change, and then everybody else is circumventing you because and going to him directly. If he's not willing and open to start doing this work, we're not going to do it either. But I see that so much with so many CEOs and business owners. They don't understand how to actually lead their teams in a way that will get them maximum revenue and profitability. It happens every single day. And you're right, they'll read half a book, or they'll find a business coach who's just willing to take their money but won't actually make them do the work. I see it literally every day. Every
So
day.
I'm really curious on, and the thing I always say is like you have to go from building homes. At least in my case, the vast majority of my guys are custom home builders, but you have to go from building homes to building people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's exactly the same for. I've had 20 businesses. It's the same in
Every
every single
business.
one of them.
Yep.
Business is business, and there's people. It's that whole like, what book was it? That was it the E Myth or something where they talk about like technician versus
Yes. Yeah, it's E-myth.
integrator versus you know what I'm
Yes.
talking about?
Yes. Yep.
So it's that. And that CEO you're describing, or even the leadership that won't do that. It's
Yeah, they
there's
started out in the field. They never
yeah.
learned how to lead people. They didn't learn how to communicate with people. They didn't learn how to delegate. They just knew they were a technician. They knew how to do the work. And then all of a sudden they find themselves running a business, but they don't know how to run a business, and they don't know how to actually communicate with people. And I see, especially in the trades, I see that a lot, because people get tired of turning wrenches for somebody else. They want to make all the money. They don't recognize how much that actually costs to be the one that's making all the money. And then they never make it beyond. They might have one more employee, or they might make it to $1 million a year, but they scaling up to five, they can't do, because they don't know how to communicate. In most cases, that's the only problem.
Yeah, I write about that in the book, and I don't know if you read that or not, the Magnet, the Method, the Machine, but I talk about like, you're working for Joe Builder and you're like, well, I'm just going to go build my own houses. And that's fine. And somebody comes and they order a greenhouse and you build them a greenhouse, and that's fine. But now you have three houses at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. What do you do? Everything becomes wholly more complicated. You hire out of pain, you hire B players, you end up
Yep.
being the king with 1,000 assistants. Like there's so many ways it goes bad really, really fast. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the guy with 6 million in revenue that has $0.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this company in the Carolinas, the owner has 48 companies. He has 48 companies. He literally has companies he's acquired that don't have any management team. And he's just allowing the companies to operate. And he's acquired some of these companies, and he'll put together a plan to keep the ownership for a certain period of time. He's bought some of them that has no ownership that stayed with it to transition the company over. Um, so as I move forward in this process, I told them, I said, look, I'll take a small subset, and we'll put this programming into place in the small subset. And once it's successful, if he wants to roll it out to his other organizations, we can certainly help him do that. But I know where the issue is. We just got to get the issue on board.
You're biting off a lot on that one, kid. Like,
Yeah, I know, and that's why I said I'll take a small subset. We'll do what we need to do. I have a very massive network, and I know people in certain places that are good at doing this type of work. I'm looking at one of them right now, right? So I know where to go when I need help. So that's not part of the issue, but we got to get this first smaller subset group operated on all cylinders first, and then move on to the rest of it.
Well, I'll be curious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, hey, 2 years ago, 2 years from now, when we're cruising to Antarctica, right? We can
Either sharing war
we can
stories or
have
it's
some
a
good
massive success.
conversations. Yeah, I know. I know.
I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want you to kind of give me the 2 sentence elevator pitch about what I view you do. And if I'm 100% wrong, again, I don't know you that well. We just happen to be traveling to the other side of the world together.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like financial literacy is the very simple bucket I'll put one side in, and
Yep.
public speaking I'll put the other bucket
Yep.
in. Like, tell me
Yep.
how far off I am, and kind of give me like how those actually play together.
So the number one basis is helping people. That's it. That's the number one
Well,
basis.
yeah.
I've ended up in the financial literacy column because I've made some stupid mistakes on my own, and I'm passionate about not having other people repeat those. So I speak on financial literacy, how to turn yourself around, how to not be a poor entrepreneur, because most entrepreneurs are very poor. And then, so those two things kind of go hand in hand. But I also have this passion with communication and culture building in companies. And it's the reason why I was successful in my corporate career. It's the reason why I was successful in my restaurant business, and am fortunately going to be able to exit that. I just believe in building people and building teams and building a strong culture where people actually work together. So that's probably the shortest version of the explanation. But I end up working with business owners to strategize on those things most of the time.
Yeah. And I think that's such a brilliant combination. And it's the communication and financial literacy piece,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
and because it all stems or all rolls back up to that
Yeah.
at the end of the
Well,
day.
well, look, I mean, people come to me because they have money problems, right? The majority of people have money problems as they build their businesses and as they grow. And they come to me for the money problems, but the money problems started because they didn't know how to communicate with people. Right? In most cases, they didn't have their own self-worth in place, right? So they were undercharging for what I know. So they were undercharging for what they were actually offering to the world, and so then they didn't know how to cost things appropriately. Then they didn't. So it rolls down to financials, and everyone believes they have a problem with money, but the problem is actually not with money. It's with your own valuation, your own self-worth, any kind of financial wounds that happen to you early in life translate later if you don't fix them. So they come to me for money, but it's way deeper is what I actually work on with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The give them what they think they need, or sell them what they think they need and give them what they actually need.
Yes.
And
Yes.
boy, do I see that same conversation with the same guy about the pre-construction agreement. That's where, and we were only on a 20 together. My guys have unlimited 20-minute calls they can book every day if they need them.
Oh, I love that.
And
I love that idea.
it's huge. Like I've got guys that never book hour strat calls. Like they'll just do a bunch of 20s because they're in, they're
Okay.
out. We focus on this one thing, and time expands to meet whatever you're working on. So
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
can knock it out just as fast. But anyway, and that's what I told him. I said, you got to remember, his name's DJ. I said, you are the expert. I said, building a house to this person that's on the other side is magic. Like
Mm-hmm.
you and I think it's easy because I'm like, why doesn't everybody just build their own hot rod? Like I can build a car from scratch. Why doesn't everybody just do that? Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it's magic if you don't know how to do it. So you have to charge accordingly for that. And so that's why you charge for your time.
Mm-hmm.
And but we went completely into it's because you don't think you are worth that per hour,
Yeah.
per day,
Yeah.
per estimate, per whatever.
Yep.
And it always I think I'm glad I went to Brown, got my ICF as a professional coach versus the guy who calls himself a coach.
Yep.
And I'm like you, like I'd been helping friends and subs and whatever for years, build businesses, finally start a 401k, like all these things. And but that taught me, I can help anyone. I can help a banker or a doctor as much as I can help a builder because
Mm-hmm.
they're human fucking beings.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's one. Pardon the language. But it's that's the piece that's missing, that my ideal client comes to understand that it's not about spreadsheets, it's not about tactics, it's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's at the end of the day, it's you, the human being, that you know you need to eat better and run, to use your
Yep.
example, but
Yep.
there's a reason you don't get up and do it in the morning.
Yep.
That's what I coach. That's why my guys are successful.
Yeah.
So, man, see,
Yeah.
this is why we get
No,
along.
see, it's not, I mean, it's you and I are very similar beings in that way. Like we recognize, look, the limitations you have, you've placed on yourself. So let's remove those roadblocks and those limitations so that you can actually function where you're supposed to function.
Yeah. And hard caveat, like myself included. That's why I have a coach.
Yeah, me too. I have two coaches. We're all human. Like legitimately. I got a coach on the spiritual side of things and then I got a coach on the just kick my butt every day kind of things, you know?
Yeah.
We are all, you and I can say this, are in pursuit of being our best selves, right? From every morning when we get up, there's something we want to learn, some sort of growth we want to do, some way that we are continually evolving. And I can't help other people in their evolutionary process if I'm not evolving every single day.
Yeah. I always say if you're hiring a coach and they don't have a coach, that's a problem.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
I know I don't. I know 3% of what I need to know in this world.
Yeah.
And you probably see this too. And I'm curious on the more on the finances side. That's how I'm gonna frame this question. But I will be like I help people with their copywriting. Like obviously I'm an author. Like I write my own emails every
Mm-hmm.
day that go out to my list, whatever. I enjoy it. And I will help them rewrite something. But then I'll look at my own page and my coach will come in and smack me in the back of the head and be like, "Why'd you write
Mm-hmm.
that?" And I'm like, "God dang it." Like, it's the most obvious thing. Is that
Yeah.
true for you too? Like, you have
Oh
to have
yeah.
that
Oh
third
yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to have it. I am a firm believer, and again, I don't know everything that I need to know, and I'm gonna fly through it. I'm a very fast operator. My brain moves very quickly. My body moves like I'm just on speed. So if I don't have somebody coming in over my shoulder, I guarantee you I'm gonna miss something because I'm moving so fast all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another reason we get along.
yeah, yes.
I, which brings up another question. Here's what I love. Like, normally this show would be over, but it's like I knew this one was going to run long. Are you still good on time, by the way?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm good.
Okay. Um, because forever, as long as I can remember, people are like, I'm just figuring out what you said yesterday, and you're already like 40 steps ahead and are moving forward on something. In my world, A, it doesn't feel fast. And B, I've always, as long as I can remember, surrounded myself with really smart people that I can
Mm-hmm.
go, here's my idea in an afternoon. I trust their opinion. That's what I serve for my
Yep.
guys. Like,
Yeah.
I got a call right for this. You just new employee compensation agreement. Like, I want to bounce these ideas off you. So it's when you surround yourself with those people, I think you're able to move a lot faster with confidence. And I put it on my, I don't know if you saw my post yesterday on Facebook, but it was like the most dangerous person in business is the one that can look foolish in front of their friends, show up every
Yeah.
day,
Yep.
fail 20 times,
Yep.
and still keep going. Like I've failed hundreds and hundreds and
Oh, me
hundreds of
too.
times.
Yep.
And so, like, what do you think that is? Like, what do you think the unlock is that allows you to move faster than maybe your peers do?
I don't have fear. And I would suspect that that's probably the same for you. I don't have fear of failure because, to your point, I don't care if I fail. I don't. Like I know that's how I'm going to learn. I'm a hands-on learner. I'm an in the moment experiential learner. So I'm not going to ever be perfect and I'm going to learn by doing and sometimes I'm going to screw it up and I'm okay with that. If people laugh at me, I don't care. If people judge me, I don't care. They can do that. That's on them. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm just trying to get it done. I'm just going to get it done. And if I mess it up, it's not the end of the universe. So I don't have the fear of failure, and that's why I can move so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know where that comes from, but um, I was teaching myself to weld a couple years ago, like
Cool.
so that I could start building like full hot rods, not just do, put a new motor in, whatever, but like build
Super
a hot
cool.
rod.
Yeah.
And the thing I started with, it was my buddy Louie, shout out to Louie. Was my 32 coupe, which is like it's tattooed on my arm. It's my most prized possession.
Aw.
And wanted one since I was knee high. And the I started by hacking that apart and Frenching in taillights. And if you know what a Frenched in taillight is, it's like where it's like subset
Mhm.
in, like you create a metal bucket that goes inside the car and then the taillight is
Oh, until
inside
it
the
fits in
bucket.
it. Okay. Yep.
It's wicked hard. And that was the first thing I ever taught myself to weld. And Louis comes over, he goes, "What are you doing?" And I explained it to him. He goes, "You are just fearless." And I'm like, what's the worst case? I pay somebody to do it that would
Yeah.
have, that's what I would
Yeah.
have had to do anyway.
Yeah, the worst case is you figure it out that you can't do it yourself and you need to hire somebody. Like that's
Yeah.
legitimately the worst case. And you might waste like a couple $100 on parts and materials. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then expand that out to literally everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, which is why I've had my own crash and burn moments, right? In business
Yeah.
relationships because that's exactly that. But I always know I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to cost myself my life. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
whatever, it
And
is
you're
just a
never
learning
starting from
experience.
scratch.
No.
I think that's the piece. You either win or you learn. And if you took everything I've ever built away from me right now, I'll build it back in a year because I have all of the accumulated knowledge of all of the failures and all of the wins and all the things I
Yep.
need to do. Like
Yep.
you're never really starting over.
No, no, you're not. But so many people do have that fear and do kind of get in their own way. And I've had for many years, I would get so frustrated with people who didn't just want to like I'm a person who if I don't know something, I'll just go in and like tinker with it till I figure it out. And there's so many people who are afraid to go in and tinker with something until they figure it out. And I used to get so frustrated with people like that. And I've had people tell me, your brain doesn't work like everyone else's brain. It took me
Say,
decades. It took me decades to actually fully believe that. And I still don't really. Like, I still think that if people are able to get past their own limitations, they can operate that way too. But it's a part of the limitations they've placed on themselves that put them where they are. But it's taken me literally decades to accept that. Yeah.
do you think you can learn to be an entrepreneur, or do you think to some degree you're born with the skills to be an entrepreneur?
I think I think you can, if you have a strong enough desire, you can learn to do anything. I think if you desire it and you want to remove the limitations and you change your mindset and you work on that, you can learn to do anything. I do think there are some people that just like you and I have this natural ability to be fearless and we're more predetermined to be entrepreneurs, right? Because we just don't, oh well, we screw up, we'll learn something new. That's a win, just learning something, right? And we'll move on and try something different. So I think people like you and I are predestined to be entrepreneurial, but I think anybody can learn if they want to remove limitations.
Yeah. And if they know the real reason that they want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they know why they're here, right? That's a whole nother discussion. We get into whole human design. I don't know if you and I talked about that when we were together. Now I know we were talking about conversations with God, but human design is something that I'm super into. It is really the blueprint for why all of us are here. That's what I believe. And if we are working in accordance with what we were designed to be here to do, then the sky is really the limit there too. Having an understanding of, was I given a voice? Was I given the strengths to be able to speak and communicate? Was I given the strengths to be able to be introverted? And maybe I pull all of my inspiration from inside myself, right? So I'm not getting ideas outside from other people. Like there are some real design differences between all of us as humans. And so understanding how to work best with our own design is the way to really function well in life too.
Yeah. Two things. I want to introduce you to my friend Mel Harris, who is beginning her
Yeah.
journey with human design.
Oh,
Like,
good.
can have a
That's
virtual
awesome.
coffee. Like she's
Oh
amazing. We do
yeah.
proactive stuff
Love
together.
to talk to her.
But two, this weekend I was at Channel Panel, and most people would think that that is like way far woo woo. Like, what on earth are you doing?
Hmm.
But one of the biggest takeaways, and I took a picture of it while it was up on the screen. We were there 8 hours a day for 3 days. It was long. It said you wouldn't desire to do the thing if you weren't capable of doing the thing.
Amen. Amen.
I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
what a permission slip from the universe.
Yep.
Like our foundation. Like I have a really unreasonable goal to send 1 million kids abroad. Like we're sending our first six this year.
I love it. I love it.
but it's like I wouldn't have the desire to send a million if it wasn't possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I
So
love
take
that.
that, listener, walking your dog or driving right now. What is that thing that you desire to do that you're telling yourself you're not capable of? You are
Yeah.
100% capable.
Yeah. 100%. I love that. That's so good. I wish I had known about that dang weekend beforehand. I know we talked about it when we were in Boston. I think you mentioned that you were going. You were like, "Oh, I'm going doing this thing in West Virginia." But
Weirdest
that's right up
location
my
on
alley.
earth, by the way, to have that.
I
Like the
wondered about that too, but I was like, you know what? It's relatively inexpensive there, so it kind of makes sense. Like
last
in
one
all
was in
honesty,
Sedona, which
yeah,
was like obviously vortex of the world, but it was like
yeah.
for whatever reason. Well, I'll tell you like when we're offline too. Like we've got another thing coming up in February that's in LA.
Okay.
And Mel, my friend that I'm going to introduce you to, actually comes with us to that one. So
Okay, very cool.
we'll see
Well,
if
yeah,
the
keep me
dates work
posted
out
because
for that.
I've got actually have a client of mine that's out in LA that I have not met in person yet, and I would love to get out there and give him some love in person. So,
Yeah,
yeah. I,
same. We're going out like 3 days early so that I've got to go to San Diego, Santa Barbara, and catch two clients, and then we'll be at the event. So anyway, I'll send you the
cool.
details on
Okay,
that.
good.
So without this being a 7 hour long episode, which it clearly could be, we're already like double my normal episode. How can people find you? Like they're listening, they're like, damn, this Angela chick really gets me. Like, how do we
Yeah.
find you? Where do you hang out? What's that?
Best place to find me online is Instagram. So, and it's Ms. Angela Goodman. So MS Angela Goodman. Um, I answer everything there pretty much, and I'm out and about all over the place. I have clients all over the country, as do you, right? So I'm constantly traveling to different things. I've got a speaking engagement this week with the Virginia Society of CPAs, and I've got a couple of engagements lined up for next year. But everything on Instagram has all of my whereabouts. So
Awesome. And that'll
yeah.
be in the show notes as well, gang. So the last guest left you a question. You get to
Oh,
leave the next guest a question.
oh, fun.
So Scott Kelly left you yours, but before I ask you, what would you like to ask the next guest?
The next guest, what would I like to ask? Why are they on Earth?
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm on like 170 some episodes of this show,
Yeah.
and the questions are always really apropos. Like the guests are so different, and I never even know who's gonna be next because people cancel and reschedule, and
Right.
so it's always interesting. So
Yeah,
here's
I like that.
yours,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna ask you the question. I'm not gonna preface it with anything. Who told you your best habits?
Who told me my best habits? Um, I had I had a mentor from a company that we acquired in mechanical service work back in like I don't know 2007 when I was working for Carrier, and they brought me in to help the cultural transition as they acquired the company. And so one of the guys that was an owner stayed on board for a year. He was kind of the customer relations guy and great guy. He was in his at the time in his mid 60s, and he had owned the company for 20 some years. And he was really the first person who like showed me who I was. So at that point in time, I was almost when am I born? So I was 30. I was like 30 at that time. And he was the first person in my life who really showed me who I was, who helped me to understand myself as a leader, as a communicator, and believed in me and my abilities to help lead his company that had been acquired after he left. Yeah, yeah.
Great answer. I'm glad I didn't preface it with anything. I uh I read it and I was like, huh. So anyway, perfect
Yeah,
answer. I
yeah,
absolutely love it.
yeah. I mean, it's sad that it took 30 years, right? Like, you would think at some point in
Some people
time.
never figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, so good. I love that question.
All right. Anything else, Angela, you want to leave the audience before we bounce?
I'm just grateful to know you, bro. Like, thank you for having me on, and I'm excited to have another like-minded human in my life that we can have some deep conversation and we can have some stupid conversation, and we could talk about cars too because I like cars also.
Did you see the
Yeah,
51 I just bought?
I did.
Mm.
I did. I did. I saw it and I was like, okay, I see you over there. I don't only live 2 hours from you, so don't worry about it. I need a car fix. I'll drive over.
Well, when we hop off, we'll talk about more of that because I've got ideas. I've got ideas.
Okay.
Because anyway, Angela, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know I'm coming on your show in a little while, so
Yep.
I'll add that to these show notes once I'm on your show. But total pleasure, and obviously we're gonna have to have you back on again so we can continue this conversation.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
All right, Flip Flop fam. That does it for me and Angela. All of her information is in the show notes. And until next time, keep it on the flip side. Cheers.